To John Esser Sports Channel, where we're doing Championship Week 38 predictions. Please do stay on board, like and subscribe, and we'll be doing a live on Saturday or two. Just please join in. Bristol City versus Norwich. We're going for the Friday night game first, and Bristol City 1-1 away draw at Sheffield United. A really good, well-earned battle, that one. 90th minute equaliser by Mark Sykes. And Bristol City, they had the majority of the ball. They had 23 shots as well, but only 4 on target, which really put... what I was seeing on that game is that the back lines were actually quite high up, and it can push forward and then offside, and then push forward and offside. And you think the offside trap kept pulling people back and stopping them from just breaking down quite as quickly as what they probably would have done. But 23 shots, that's and 13 for Sheffield United. What a game to be watching. But only 9 shots on target by both sides in the entire game. It became a little bit of a let's stand off and just try and hit it from distance, because the back lines are pulling forward so much. So Bristol City played well there. Norwich City lost against Sheffield Wednesday, and they're just not quite doing it for me. Norwich City, 16th minute, 35th minute, they're 2-0 up and they lose it 3-2. And they're doing completely the opposite of what they used to do in the past 2 or 3 years, where they used to go behind and then get 3 or 4 goals and win the game in the last sort of 90 plus 7th minute, as they did with Rotherham. So Sheffield Wednesday, they really did come back into this and played the majority of their good football, let's say, in the second half. 47% possession for them, 15 shots, 5 on target. Norwich, 53% possession, 10 shots, 3 on target. This is going to be a very interesting game, I think. And Bristol City Bristol City will certainly be thinking they can do this, because they're playing a side in Norwich that just don't seem to be able to push for a top 6 place. I think now 49 points in 12th position. 37 games, there's very few games left now, and you can see how they're really starting to think, well, we're probably on the beach with so many other teams above us that are doing quite well. So what are you saying? You're saying 1-0 to Bristol City, 2-1 to Bristol City, 2-1 to Bristol City. So I'm going to agree with most of you, and I'm going to go with Bristol City 2, Norwich City 1, and we'll move on to the next game, which is Millwall versus Stoke. So we now go on to the Saturday games. 12:30, Millwall versus Stoke. Millwall, they used to be doing really well at home. They were playing really well at home. Solid performances there, and then all of a sudden I started saying they're doing well at home, and they stopped doing well at home. Millwall, draw, win, lose, win, lose. Stoke City, win, lose, draw, lose, win. This is not going to be one for the connoisseur, I don't think. Millwall lost last time out against Leeds. Leeds did what they had to do to win this, and Millwall, to be honest, away at Leeds, 39% possession, 4 shots at goal, 0 on target. Really, it was not a game for the connoisseur. Leeds just did what they had to do, and good on them that it worked for them. But as a spectacle, it was not one to watch for me. Stoke City won at Blackburn, 1-0. 19th minute winner there. Stoke City can let goals in, can't they? But they can also score certainly more than one if they need to. But what interested me here was that Stoke had 43% possession, 8 shots, 3 on target. 10 for Blackburn, 2 on target, no goals, with 57% possessions. And Stoke really, they did what they had to do, and they rallied around that 1-0 lead and just pulled back and made sure that Blackburn just weren't going to get even distance shots off. So their defence for once did really, really well. I can if Stoke can continue to do this, then I can see Stoke starting to build a few more points as they go towards the end. Where are they in the league? Stoke City are in 19th. They certainly don't want to be dropping any further. Derby County in with 35 points in 22nd. Just 4 points behind them. A defeat here for Stoke could see them dragged into that melee just below them. Remember, they've got Oxford and Cardiff straight below them, so they're not wanting to lose this one, and they are starting to play a little bit better at the back. Like I said, Millwall though, they do tend to. They've been doing a lot of draws recently, and that seems to have just dwindled in the last sort of five or six matches. So we're doing a lot of draws, and then in the last 5, it's been win, lose, lose, win, lose, and they seem to have like disappeared into defeats. I'm a little bit either way here, because I can see that Millwall can play good football, and they have played good football at home, and that crowd will drag them through this season. And you look at them in the table and you think 13th, 48 points. They're only 8 points behind Coventry. They could, if they had a really good run, just about push into that 6th slot. But I don't think they will. But it is in their mind. They're not out of it yet. They're not quite on the beach, are they? So what are you saying? 1-1, 1-1, 0-0, 1-1. You're all saying draws. Now I'm going to go with you. I'm going to sit on the fence, and I'm going to go with Millwall 1, Stoke City 1, and we'll carry on to QPR versus Leeds United. QPR Leeds. This is another 12:30 game that we'll be covering live on this channel with our watch-alongs. Please do like and subscribe. QPR, what have they been doing? Lose, win, lose, 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 lose. They just don't seem to be doing anything. The last win was 4-0 at home to Derby County. This is a team that can actually score, but their defence has been getting rather good. And I've really been impressed by that defence, especially those games where they seem to have put 10 men at the back of the bus. They're really good at parking the bus, QPR. Don't always do it, but when they do it, they are really good at it, usually. Not been working recently, however. So they're playing a Leeds side who, let's face it, on their day can beat anybody. Although they lost against Portsmouth, didn't they? 1-0, and what a game that was. My local side, Portsmouth, certainly enjoying that day. Win, 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 draw, lose, win against Millwall last time out 2-0. And you have to start thinking that this is a side that can click, and they have they're going to have injuries. They're going to have people not quite playing on their top fitness levels, because we're getting towards the end of the season, and it always happens, and the pitches start to cut up. QPR's tends to be quite good, to be quite honest, but we do start to see a few pitch deteriorations, and we start to see a few fatigue issues setting in. I can see this happening for both these sides. However, Leeds have quite a good in-depth squad. So I think this one's going to be a Leeds win. What do you think? 2-0 to Leeds, 1-0 to Leeds, 2-1 to Leeds. The question here is will QPR score? And I think they will. I think it's going to be QPR 1, Leeds United 2, and we'll move on to the next game, which is our first 3 p.m. game, guys. It's Blackburn versus Cardiff, and Blackburn are in 9th, Cardiff are in 21st, and 1 point above Derby. Now they're going to be looking at this and thinking, Derby County can get the odd point, and they're playing Plymouth, so they could quite easily get 3 points. So you're really talking about a Cardiff City side that is absolutely wanting to get something out of this game. Blackburn Rovers, obviously in 9th, they really do want to keep up that pressure on 6th place Coventry, who are just 4 points ahead of them a win here would be absolutely essential. A defeat, and we're starting to just get a few too many points behind this close to the end of the season. Blackburn, win, lose, draw, lose. Not doing too well of late, are they? Against a, and it's they're sort of quite a dull games. I think one or two of those as well. Against a Cardiff side, draw, win, lose. And I actually must say, I think that some of the Cardiff performances in there have been really good. And I thought the Villa defeat in the Cup they actually played rather well for me. So it's a little bit difficult. However, I'm sort of erring on the side of Cardiff here. I think that Cardiff although they have lost all their last 4, and Blackburn have lost 3 and drawn 1. I think that that draw was against Norwich, and they're not playing very well. So I think that I'm erring towards the Cardiff side that, although they've been losing, have been playing a little bit quite decent football, and I've actually quite enjoyed it, even though they've been losing. They've been playing good football. Well, I think they have. You please do comment down below to tell me what you think, Cardiff fans. Please tell me what you think. What are you saying? 1-1, 1-1, 1-0 to Cardiff. I'm gonna go with one. I'm gonna go Blackburn 0, Cardiff 1. I really do think that they can turn this around, and they really, if they're gonna do it today, because they have to do it today. So they are playing better, I think, and they have to play better in this game because they really do need that win. Coventry versus Sunderland next, and Coventry are in 6th with Sunderland in 4th. Coventry and West Brom 6th and 5th, both on 56 points. Bristol City just behind them on 54, and then in 53 points is Borough in 8th, and it's getting quite tight underneath them, and as we get towards the end, those 1 point gaps start to become a little bit more important, don't they? So Coventry, we've got, let's see at the stats here, win, lose against Derby County, and they just didn't seem to turn up against in that one. Derby County played really well, and this is what I was saying. That with Cardiff being above them, this Derby team can do it. Derby County 31% possession, 6 shots, 2 on target, 2 in the net. You've got to think that is really good. That is top half statistics there. Had they got more possession, what would they have done with it? Coventry City, 69% possession, 13 shots, 4 on target, none in the net. They'll be gutted. And I know by watching some of the Coventry fans and some of their reviews and some of their videos online, they've done this several times during the year. They've trounced. They ran the game. They've trounced the opposition, but they just can't get one in the net. And it doesn't always happen. It just happens occasionally. Is this just one of those minor occasions that Coventry just had a blip? I think it is. They have on the whole been playing quite well, and you can tell that by the fact that they've gone up to 6th. They really have done just that little bit better than all the teams around them. Draws 8 for Coventry, so they're not even drawing as many as all the teams around them seem to be doing quite a lot of draws. West Brom above them 17, Bristol City below them 15, Coventry 8, So I'm thinking this game is not going to be a draw. What are you saying? 2-1 to Coventry. Hang on a minute. Where are we going? What are we doing? Yeah, I'll go back one. It's Coventry, Sunderland. Yeah. What are you saying? Coventry 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Sunderland win, lose, win, draw. It's a strange one, and I see where you're coming from. The impetus here seems to be behind the Coventry team but we know that they can just fall apart occasionally. Was that a blip? I think it was. I think they'll be back to their usual antics, and that was away from home at Derby as well. I think they'll be up to their usual tricks again at home. Sunderland, not always as good away from home. However, they won away last time against, in the last away game, Sheffield Wednesday 2-1. One before that was a Leeds United defeat 2-1. I think that Sunderland can be beaten. If they're going to be beaten, it's going to be against another top 6 side, and I think that this could be the one. It could go either way. This, what are you saying? 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. They're all 2-1. I'm going to stick with you. I always try and stick with you. I'm going to go Coventry 2, Sunderland 1. That's the only option you're giving me. But I think it could be either way, that one, guys. And we'll go on to the next game. Luton versus Borough. Luton obviously in dire trouble at the bottom. Where's all the parachute payments gone? Luton in 23rd with Plymouth in 24th, and Derby in 22nd on 35 points, 1 point ahead of them. Safety is 2 points away. This could technically get them out of the bottom 3, but they're playing a Borough side in 8th that certainly do seem to be either winning or losing games. Not many draws in the Middlesbrough camp, is there? Luton Town lose, draw, lose, win against Portsmouth, lose 4-0 against Burnley, and then win against Cardiff 2-1. I think that it's going to be a tough day for Luton Town. I think that they're not firing on all cylinders. They score very infrequently, should we say, against a Borough side. Lose, win, lose, win. I've seen them blip more often than what I expected them to do at the beginning of the season. They could just blip here and suddenly lose this game, with it being at Luton. And I can see that happening. I can see perhaps a draw coming from this. And what are you saying? Yeah, 1-1, 2-1 to Luton, 2-1 to Borough. We've got every single score here. How do I think this going? I can actually see. It's that Burnley 4-0 defeat away. It's this side can play some really good football, Luton, and then they can play really awful. And I don't know where they're going to. I really don't know where they're going to go with this. I just don't. It's a strange one. I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go Luton 1, Borough 1. I really can't see which way it's going to go. I really can't. And you're not giving me any choices. It'll have every way but which, isn't it? You're not giving me any choice there. And I can't help either because I really don't know which way. Oxford versus Watford. Oh dear, I am a Rotherham fan after all. Oxford versus Rotherham. It is just for fun. Come on. Please do comment down below. Like and subscribe. We always have a bit of fun. And I might try to start doing some little chat discussions midweek. Why not? Oxford versus Watford. Oxford, draw, lose, draw, lose. Just, I've seen an improvement in Oxford, and then all of a sudden they seem to have just come off the rails. That defeat against Portsmouth, my local side, not really playing very well at that game. The West Brom, I don't think they played really well. Hull City last time out, 2-1 defeat. Hull City there getting a red card on 90 plus 7 minutes, and you're thinking, okay. Just didn't see an Oxford side that were hitting it. 45% possession, 12 shots, 3 on target, 1 goal. Probably about right, but Hull City were just more clinical, weren't they? 2 on target, two goals. Perhaps it should have been a draw, but it was, for me, that was a boring game that really, possibly should have been a draw. But I suppose Hull City just about earned it on the whole. So, what Oxford versus Watford? What are we thinking? Oxford versus Watford. Draw, lose, 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 draw, lose. They just haven't got any impetus at all, have they, of recent Oxford? Doesn't seem to be going their way. You know, when you're at the bottom, the run of the green just doesn't go your way. Decisions don't go your way. The ball doesn't go your way. And this is what Oxford have got. And you've got a Watford side that can play well, do play most time play well. However, 6 games ago, 4-0 defeat at home to Leeds, that was rather odd because they just didn't seem to turn up. Lose, win, draw, lose, win. You know, it tends to be all over the place. This is a game where you can't really say, oh yeah, Watford are definitely going to win it. Watford are in 10th on 52 points. Oxford are in 20th on 39. But actually, that doesn't seem to make any difference for this game at this time. I think either team could win this. I think it's more likely to be either a draw or a Watford win. But either team could certainly win this. What are you saying? 2-1 to Watford, 2-1 to Watford, 1-0 to Watford. I'm going to agree. I think that Oxford will score. I absolutely think Oxford will score. I'm going to go with Oxford 1, Watford 2, and we'll agree with you and go for Plymouth versus Derby. Now, this is a game and a half, isn't it? So we have Plymouth Derby. Plymouth in bottom position, 24th. Derby in 22nd. To be honest, minus 36. They're not they can't get out of the bottom 3. Goal difference is just too bad for Plymouth, but it would certainly be something that would, if they could get on to 36 points. Cardiff at the minute are on 36 in 21st position. 3 points above that, Oxford in 20th. You know, and there's a gap opening up, and you can see that bottom 4 now starting to drop down. 3 from 4 is probably where it is. They need to be looking at that Cardiff side on 36 points. They have to win this. And they're playing Derby. If anything's going to give them a win, it would be this one. And similarly, the same with Derby, isn't it? So Plymouth, draw, lose, 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 win against Portsmouth. And really didn't expect them to win Portsmouth. Let's have a quick look at this. They did have... Sorinola sent off an 86, so that's going to be one that we have to think about here. And of course then Ashouche scored for Portsmouth on 89 to get it 2-1. 81% possession to Portsmouth, just 20% for Plymouth, and yet they get 6 shots, 3 on target, the same as Portsmouth, but their 3 gives them 2 goals. Just more clinical than Portsmouth on the day. So a 10-man Plymouth win the game. Totally against play. I think that this is going to be one where we can see Plymouth just managing to bring some of that enthusiasm back. They are good. They were good at home, and the last home game, 3-0 defeat to Sheffield Wednesday. They should have done better than that, I think, against Sheffield Wednesday, simply because they are good at they have been good at home all season, and they won Liverpool, for heaven's sake. Derby, we're not going to forget that, are we? Derby County, draw, lose, 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 win, win. Win against Blackburn, good game, not a great one, but a good game. Coventry City 2-0 win, and you think that wasn't seen. We didn't see that one coming. Derby County there, winning 2-0 at home to Coventry. Let's have a quick look at the stats. 31% possession, 6 shots, 2 on target, 2 in the net. Wow. 69% possession to Coventry, 13 shots, 4 on target, no goals. They'll be gutted they didn't at least score. So we're showing that the bottom sides have got are starting to get that feeling of desperation. We are going to play well. We're going to play tough, hard, what we call black arts football, And a lot of those teams at the bottom are now playing Black Arts football, and they have to try and make sure that teams trying to come to them and play quality championship football, skillful football, technical football, realise they can't do it. They've got to come down to the level of this bottom third of the league, and that's the only way this bottom third has got any chance of winning the skills at the top. But now we've got two teams doing the same thing, and it's going to be really difficult. I think that the Plymouth game against Portsmouth, where they would have probably both been playing Dark Arts football, is one of the ones we have to look at here. But I think Derby are more than capable and just have the upper hand for me on as far as the skill level goes. Obviously, of course, also changing manager and having a damn good manager come in. But there again, so have Plymouth. So, hey, and that's what's making it difficult. They're both similar in what's happened to the teams during the year. Plymouth, Derby, what are you saying? 0-0, 1-1, 1-1. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with that, I'm afraid. I'm going to have to go Plymouth 1, Derby 1, and quickly nip out the door and on to the next game. Preston versus Portsmouth, and Preston have actually been playing some really good football, haven't they? I've seen them, and, without playing brilliant, their class, their style, their passing has been absolutely brilliant in certain games. So without being top half football, they certainly have been playing really good. So let's just have a look at the positions. We've got Sunderland in 4th, Preston in 15th. They are on the beach, and one more win, and they're just on the beach, aren't they? Because Coventry in 6th are on 46 points, 12 points ahead of these. These would have to win, and all those teams between sort of 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th would have to be losing their next game. And then you might just think that they've got an outside chance of going on a winning spree and nicking it at the last minute. Don't think it'll happen, but it's not outside. It's not impossible, guys. But I think they realistically are on the beach. So let's have a look at the stats. Sunderland at the minute. Sunderland when they played Preston, wasn't it? Sunderland didn't do too badly, did they? 86-minute equaliser. Just go back to the stats there. So he had 20 shots, 2 on target. So it's the fact that Sunderland just couldn't shoot from close enough range to get them on target. Preston, their defence, and I've heard this quite a few times, their defence has really tightened up. A draw, lose, win, draw, lose, draw. But it's been a 1-1 draw, 2-1 defeat, 3-0 win, 0-0, 1-0 defeat, 1-1. There's not a lot of goals going in at the back. But then, they're not scoring enough at the front. At home, though, I think they can score 1 or 2. They're playing a Portsmouth side which seems to go up and down on a daily basis. Win, win, lose, win, lose. Certainly, I mean, they had loads of shots against Plymouth, and they were, I think it was we've just mentioned it, tons of shots, but they got absolutely trounced at the end of the day. 2-1 defeat to Plymouth. They should have won that one, and I think Plymouth in the end came out sort of struggling, but they came out the better side. The word trounced perhaps isn't the right way. I think it was just that they just didn't seem to look like they were ever going to win it. I can see Preston winning this one, and I can see them winning it by perhaps 1 or 2 goals, but no more than that. What are you saying? 1-1, 1-0, 1-0, 2-1. I'm going to go Preston 2, Portsmouth 1, and we're going to move on to the next game, which is Swansea versus Burnley. Now, Swansea City are one of those sides that sometimes play really great, sometimes play sort of average, Swansea are in 16th on 44 points. Again, one of those teams that, I don't think numerically it's not impossible for them to get into the top 6, but I don't think they're going to. They don't draw games, which is the main thing here. They do tend to either win it or lose it. So do remember that, because I think that the Burnley side, they have an ability to draw games. 20 wins, 15 draws, 2 defeats. Third position, you can grab a draw against Burnley. Will it happen here? Swansea City lose, win, draw, win, lose, all over the place. Sometimes, like I say, they play really good. Sometimes they play average. Against a Burnley side, draw, win, lose, win, draw. The defeat was against Preston. Like I say, they've been really good in defence, Preston, and I'm not surprised they couldn't get past them, because Burnley have had this ability not to score many. Until the last 6 games, of course. Sheffield Wednesday win at home 4-0. Luton Town win at home 4-0. Of course, they were both at home. They play really well. They can score like mad at home. But they can also let them in. 3-0 defeat away at Preston. So this is going to go. It's most likely going to go to Burnley. Let's face it. I think even though Swansea have a really good defensive record, an excellent defensive record, guys. You don't start saying I've not looked at it. They have actually got a really good defensive record. However, I think Burnley's dogged bash, and eventually getting 3 shots and 2 in the net. 3 shots and 2 in the net is usually what they do, and I can see it happening. Swansea Burnley, what you're saying, 0-1, 0-1, 0-2. Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to go Swansea 0, Burnley 1, and we'll go to the last game, Sheffield Wednesday versus Sheffield United. It's the Steel City derby, guys, and the Steel City derby is a derby. It's on Sunday, and there'll be nothing more liked in Sheffield than a win against your local rivals. Sheffield Wednesday, of course, at home. Win, lose, win. Their 3 wins have been against Swansea City 1-0, Plymouth Argyle 3-0, and Norwich City 3-2. Defeats against Coventry, Burnley, and Sunderland. Burnley, of course, 4-0 defeat. That Norwich win, coming back in the second half from 2-0 down to win 3-2 is something that the fans should be really, really proud of. They certainly came back with a roar. 15 shots, 5 on target, 3 in the net. They'll be happy with that. And they reduced Norwich to 10 shots, 3 on target, 2 in the net. They can be clinical, Norwich, and they managed to just cut them off in the second half, and just you're not going to get past us. That's something that Sheffield United don't play well against. Absolutely not. Win, lose, win, draw. Bristol City the last time out, 1-1 draw. Sheffield Wednesday, if you take the game to them, I think that Sheffield United are quite likely to give in at certain points and just don't quite know how to play against a side that plays in-your-face football, and Sheffield Wednesday can do that, and I think that Bristol City similarly did do that, and we'll forget all the we'll forget the controversy, shall we? But yeah, the Sheffield United Bristol City game was obviously one to be remembered, wasn't it? Yeah, end-to-end stuff, wasn't it? That was a penalty. Absolutely, grabbed hold of his shirt, pulled him down, and I'm not surprised the Sheffield United players and fans were absolutely distraught by that. That was definitely a penalty for Sheffield United, and the Bristol City players must have all known it. Really, why on earth they got involved in the melee afterwards, I don't know, because it was clearly a player being brought down by his shirt being pulled. but the referee couldn't see it. He had his back to him and pulled him down like that. There was no way the ref could see it, but the linesman should have seen that. So, yeah, bad on the linesman. Sheffield Wednesday, so what do you think? Because 1-1, 2-1 to Sheffield United, 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday. Thanks a lot, guys. You really are helping me today, aren't you? Being a Rotherham fan, obviously Sheffield's just down the road. Sheffield Wednesday had the ability here to turn this one, because Sheffield United don't play well against sides that can take it to you like Sheffield Wednesday can and did in the last game. Sheffield Wednesday in 11th, Sheffield United in 2nd. Now, if Sheffield Wednesday were to win this, 51 points, where would they be? 54 points, which is where Bristol City are in 7th. Yeah, they could get with it. They could quite easily 6 points, 5 points, and they're equal with 5th place West Brom. I think Sheffield United will have too much, but just about. This is either. I think this could be either a draw or a Sheffield United win. But I think you're quite right. Sheffield Wednesday can win this one if they take it to Sheffield United enough. Sheffield United will capitulate. They have done this season. But they tend to capitulate with a draw. They have capitulated with a defeat now and again. Absolutely. How many have they lost so far? It's 6. So they're not unbeatable. I'm going to go with Sheffield Wednesday 1, Sheffield United 2, a narrow win. I think it could be either way round. I'm going to go with the Sheffield United. I don't see it being a draw. I absolutely don't see it being a draw. There's no draws in the last 6 for Wednesday, none for the last 6 for the Blades. I think this is going to be a Steel City derby to remember. It's going to be end to end. It's going to be absolute mayhem. Will it be as fiery as the Bristol City game? I wouldn't bank on it not being. This is going to be a very interesting game. So watch out for the Sunday game. May even do a live stream of it. It's John S.'s Sports Channel over and out. Like and subscribe for Championship Week 38. And we'll be doing some more lives. Please do. Like, subscribe. See you later.